Alright, hey guys, welcome back. If you made it this far in the series, wow, that's pretty impressive. Okay, um, so we learned how to get user input, we learned how to print things, we learned what we're looking at, we learned what a function is, namespace, libraries, classes, returns, all that good stuff. Of course, I will be using this every episode, so you'll be learning it over and over again, but that's the joy of programming, right? Oh, I had to learn C++. Alright, so there are multiple types of data types, right? Where this is what we're going to talk about in this episode. If I didn't say that already, we're learning data types. There are many types of data types. Literally every single key on your keyboard is a data type. All of the letters and all the numbers and all the special characters, they are all data types. So if you don't know what a data type is, that's the definition. A through Z, exclamation mark through question mark, all the numbers 1 through a trillion, or 1 through 448 billion billion. Those are all data types. So the primitive data types that we will mostly be using uh, are, I'm just going to type them out. So we have char. This is a single letter. A single letter. A, 1, B, C, D, 1 through Z, whatever you want it to be. So I'm going to name this character equals, we're going to do A. It has to be single quotation marks. Like, it literally has to be. If you do multi quotation marks, it will error. It'll say you can't do that. It has to be single quotation marks. The second type is an int. This is a number, right? This is a number between, off the top of my head, what is it? I think it's negative 30, negative 30, negative 2 to the power of 31 to 2 to the power of 31 minus 1 or something. So it's a huge number. Essentially, 2 billion, rough estimate. I don't know. Something like that. Negative 2 billion and positive 2 billion. Um, so every number you'll need normally when you're developing. Now, if you're in a field of computer science that requires bigger numbers, like, I don't know, I really don't have an example off the top of my head. But if you need big numbers, then you'll use other types. So integers, I'm just gonna call this num. This is gonna be 1. Now if we do this, yeah. So if we do that, that is obviously too large, and it will literally say, hey, buddy, that's kind of too big. You can't do that. So you got to delete that. Then you enter a reasonably sized number. Bro, if you have a number that big, I don't know what you're doing, but you should not have a number that big. Unless you're doing calculus. In that case, knock yourself out. Um, Now, there are other types too. There's a float. Floats are pretty cool. Floats are decimal point numbers. Uh, Essentially, floating point. That's the literal term. They, it's a decimal like 2.786. So if I do float, I'm gonna do num2 equals 3.78786. That, and add an f, that is a float. It will not be a float if it does not have an f. The compiler will say, hey, this does not look like a float because it does not have an f. And you could run into runtime or compilers or errors in your program, and you could crash and lose stuff if you do not put an f. If a float is needed, please put an f. It'll save you in the long run. Just get in a habit of putting an f at the end of floats. And then the other floating point type is a double. This does not require an f. 3 point whatever magical number. If you do put an f though, it won't error, but it could run an error. So I suggest not putting an f at the end of a double. Uh, Remember, float has an F at the end of the number, double does not. And you cannot interchange those. Double cannot have an F, floats have to have an F. Remember that. So we have, then the next type is bool. True or false. So we'll have bool. We'll just name that, I like how I said name your variables according to the thing you're doing. And I did that. Okay. We'll do, what should the name be? Choice. Yeah, why not? Or we'll just do bool1. We'll name that true. We'll assign that to true. You could also turn it to false, but I'm just going to do true. Now, when you print out true and false, true is 1, false is 0. Uh, that's just how it goes. You'll figure that out eventually, or it's the other way around. That's late, and I don't know. It's 8:20. I haven't slept in like 3 days, so give me a break here. It's one of those. You'll figure. If I run the program, it'll show you. The other type is string. Now, keep in mind we had to import a special class for strings because C#, C++ be like that. And then we're going to name this string1. And we're going to set it equal to hello. Here are the data types, right? That is a string. Oh, we're halfway done. Now, keep in mind, every line has to be ended with a semicolon. An exception for functions, overloading functions. I'll talk about those. They actually have to be ended with semicolons, as well as predefined functions. They also have to end with a semicolon. But the exceptions are whenever you're typing in a function, it usually has to end with a semicolon, with a minus those exceptions. Okay, so those are the data types in C++. You will be using those every day of your life in your C++ journey. Now, of course, there are more data types, but these are the basic data types. There are more data types like arrays, vectors, and others, but these are the main ones you'll be using. Now, I am going to show you them printing out, right? I'm going to do cout, f outward, stream outward. We're going to print char character, jeez. We're going to space that. We're going to do num. We're going to do another space. Then we're going to do the num2. Not a space. I could have just copied and pasted this. What am I doing? Okay, then we're going to do num3, right? And then we can do bool1, and then we can end it with, or we can start it with the string. Actually, I'm going to start it with the string. String1. Now this looks like a lot of code, but you have no idea what a lot of code is if you think that's a lot, but all good. We're going to not end it properly and let it error, right? So now we're going to run the program. Hello there. Here are the data types. A, character, 1000. 3.786, 3.5 are float, are double, and are true. We notice when we print true, it actually prints 1, like I said, and if you do false, it prints 0. Hello there. A is the A is the character. 10,000 is the integer, float, double, and bool. Those are, and this is the string, obviously. Right here, this is the string. Those are the C++ data types. What else do I need to teach? Data types. Data. I don't think I really have anything else with data types. I might as well go into detail of what other stuff is. So if you want to make a long number, like let's say you had Let's say you had that. Yeah, it's too big. So you could do long, long, right? You do long. What? Oh yeah, int long. Sorry. So that would do int long. That means long a number, right? I'm pretty sure you can do long again. Yeah. Then you can do long again. No, you can't. I haven't really tested that, but I'm just playing around in C++ at this point. If we delete a few zeros, let's delete that many zeros. Yeah. See? Okay. So that's our limit. I don't know what number that is, uh, but in theory I could do. So that is our limit. This is the biggest number we can do in C++. If we print it, it will literally print a negative number because it is so big. You physically can't print that number. It's how big it is. So you could print 999 though. 999 exists. It's 100% exists. But you can't print big numbers like that. Those are data types. Any questions? Leave a comment.